At this time, I would also like to bring to the stage Elijah Johnson from Business Professionals of America to bring greetings.
Hello, everyone. Thank you, Alex, for touching on all of that. And you really saved me so I don't have to get the whole BPA spiel again. So I'm just going to have a very short but important and powerful message and just pick up where you left off. First of all, for those of you who I haven't had the opportunity to talk to, I currently serve as the National Secondary Division President of Business Professionals of America. And on behalf of the Board of Trustees, national staff members, our executive officers, and our newly hired executive director and CEO, I'd like to say thank you to all of you for being here and the NBEA for hosting us and having BPA here. So 4 years ago, my business education teacher, Ms. Bosman, introduced me to BPA and the world of CTSOs. And back then, the most that I knew how to do was correctly save a Word document. And I know that sounds kind of ridiculous, but I don't say that as a joke. That was seriously the extent of my business skills. And now, all these years later, I serve on the National Board of Trustees as a voting member. I have oversight of millions of dollars in budgetary funds. I represent tens of thousands of diverse student members from all across the country and located all over the world. It is because of Ms. Bosman and educators like you that I'm here today. Without you guys, I wouldn't be talking to you. Without you guys, entire generations of leaders and rising student leaders would not exist. So I know you guys hear all the time about CTSOs and what we do and how we're extremely important. But I just wanted to say, from a student perspective, your work does not go unnoticed at all. As advisors, we know that you guys put in lots of work, extreme amounts of sacrifice. You use your personal time to take care of students and create future leaders. So again, from the student perspective, your work does not go unnoticed, and it most certainly is not undervalued. So thank you all for being here. And once again, thank you to NBEA for hosting me and BPA.
Thanks, Elijah. I know you have an incredible future ahead, and you stand as a bright beacon of what CTSO can do in terms of transforming our young people. At this time, we'd like to turn our attention to honoring our past leaders. If you are an NBEA past president, would you please stand and be recognized? Before we begin, we would like to thank these individuals who served on the convention committee. We appreciate their work to bring NBEA outstanding programming for this convention. But we'd also like to extend special thanks to Kathy Carruthers, who chaired the committee this year. Kathy, we have a special award for you. Would you please come forward? Also, if you are a regional association president, would you please stand and be recognized? If you serve on a regional board, would you please stand and be recognized as well? Next, we have the pleasure of introducing Dr. Carla Sager, who chairs the Business Education Hall of Fame. Dr. Sager is no stranger to us, and she is here to make some important presentations regarding the National Business Education Hall of Fame.
So I have nearly lost my voice at the conference. So my dear colleague, Denise Roseland, is going to help me get through what I need to get through. I so appreciate you. The Business Education National Hall of Fame was founded by Dr. Walter Brower in 1977 at Rider University in Lawrenceville, New Jersey. When Dr. Brower retired in 1994, it was relocated to the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. In 2019, I was able to partner with NBEA and bring the Business Education National Hall of Fame induction ceremony to this very convention, giving recognition to those men and women who have made significant contributions to business education in the United States. Each person inducted has in some ways shaped business education. The achievements of these leaders to the profession cannot be forgotten nor set aside as current and future business educators undertake the tasks of keeping business education relevant in the changing global environment. It is truly an honor for me to formally announce the founder of the Business Education National Hall of Fame, Dr. Walter Brower, as a 38th Hall of Fame inductee.
Dr. Walter Brower was nominated by Peter Magnuson. He earned his BS in Business Education from Rider University. He then went on to Temple University, completed an MED and an EDD in Business Education. In 1948, he was hired as a faculty member at Rider University. In 1950, Dr. Brower was granted a military leave of absence to join the U.S. Air Force for 3 years during the Korean War, serving in Texas and Tokyo, Japan, and achieving the rank of captain. Dr. Brower proudly served Rider University with distinction for over 45 years. And he continued that service even after his retirement. From 1950 to 1995, Dr. Brower worked at Rider University as a professor and chairman of the Business Education Department. He was Dean of Education for 21 years. Under his leadership, Rider School of Education received national accreditation. His service to Rider University came in many capacities, including his role as Dean of Education and Human Services, Acting Vice President and Director of Graduate Studies, Chairman of the Athletic Council, and member of the Board of Directors of the Alumni Association. Outside of Rider University, he was an adjunct or visiting professor at Emporia State University, Suffolk University, Catholic University of America. Rider University bestowed the title of Dean Emeritus on him upon his retirement. In his retirement, he continued to teach and inspire as adjunct professor of education for more than 16 years. He contributed to many news articles and documentaries over the years, including sharing his experience with the infamous 1939 Blue Comet train crash in Chatsworth, where he and a friend were the first on the location and assisted injured passengers off the train. He was only 12 years old at the time. A link to this story can be found in the upcoming summer issue of the Forum. Or is it in the spring one? I think it's in the spring one. No. I'm only the editor, don't worry about me, right? It's the current one, yes. Dr. Brower is one of America's greatest business educators of the second half of the 20th century. His contributions and dedication to the advancement of business education were and continue to be widely recognized by his colleagues and students alike. He was a dedicated educator who touched thousands of lives through his work at Rider and beyond. Through teaching, writing, lecturing, research, and consulting, as well as sheer determination, he served as a driving force behind the advancement of business education and business teacher education profession. During his 45-year career, he continuously demonstrated leadership and professionalism in the business ed community. Welcome, right? So, the founders and to the Hall of Fame. This year, we're inducting 2 members to the National Hall of Fame. And so the 39th inductee to the Business Education Hall of Fame is Dr. Robert Risto. Any of you who are from this north central part of the country may recognize Dr. Risto from Wisconsin, among other states as well. Dr. Risto earned his BS degree in Business Administration and his Wisconsin teacher certification in 1951 from the University of Wisconsin-Madison. He continued to build his academic credentials by earning an MS in education in 1957 and a PhD in business education with a minor in educational administration from the University of Wisconsin-Madison in 1970. Dr. Risto provided consistent lifetime leadership as a business teacher, state-level program leader, and author. His work over a long career represents commitment to comprehensive business education. Dr. Risto's contributions to business education were numerous and spanned 37 consecutive years of membership in NBEA and the North Central Business Education Association. He was an active and lifelong member of the Administrative Management Association, Delta Pi Epsilon, and the International Society of Business Education. At the state level, he served as chairman of the Educational Committee, functional director of education for the Detroit chapter of the Administration Management Society, and national functional director of education for the Administrative Management Society International. Other leadership positions include chair of the Policies Commission on Business and Economic Education, chair of the Michigan Occupational Teacher Association, and president of the Beta Gamma Sigma Honorary Business Administrative Society. Dr. Risto served as a second lieutenant, field artillery, and first lieutenant infantry in the Wisconsin Army National Guard. Dr. Risto also achieved the rank of captain, Transportation Corps in the U.S. Army Reserve. Risto contributed extensively to the literature and business education. Between 1953 and 1991, he authored or co-authored over a total of 40 articles. In addition, he also authored and co-authored several business textbooks with Southwestern Publishing. Dr. Risto has numerous presentations accredited to his scholarship that expanded well beyond the United States. He taught in Davos, Switzerland in July of 1990, Tokyo, Japan in August of 1990, and Kokkola, Finland in April of 1995. Dr. Risto gave his time and expertise generously, as shown in his consistent record of professional writing and speaking at local, regional, national, and international conferences. In addition to his academic research, he worked with local schools, business organizations, and professional organizations to develop useful research projects to provide direction for his colleagues. He has been a credit to this field, to the University of Wisconsin-Madison, and to the two states he worked, Michigan and Wisconsin, and to the professional organizations through which he served. Advance to the next slide. Is there one more? Okay. The Hall of Fame inductees are recognized at the University of Wisconsin Whitewater campus in the College of Business and Economics. Plaques of all 39 inductees are hanging there as a tribute, and they show their photograph and the year of induction into the Hall of Fame. These men and women inspire future generations of business educators through their writing, teaching, and speaking on behalf of business education. They were often involved in government and business in the support of business education. These people created professional organizations where educators and students would come together and discuss and plan for the future. These men and women were role models, really, to any or all of us sitting in this room today. They helped us learn to lead, to make decisions, to take action, to create and develop events that would advance the objectives and the ideals of business education. During their time, they influenced the direction and definition of what we are today. For that, we have to recall and respect the past and recognize these two inductees.
Thank you, Carla and Jim. As we continue, we would like to thank some indispensable organizations that have helped NBEA make this a successful conference. Accounting Pod, BE Publishing, Business Professionals of America, Cengage, Certiport, Crunched Education Program, FINRA, FBLA, Interpretive Simulations, Kendall Hunt, Knowledge Matters, Mujo, NBEA Research, Personal Finance Lab, and Stukent. More about these sponsors is available at our conference website. Please thank them and explore more about what they do to serve the business education community. We would also like to again thank our platinum sponsors who come alongside NBEA in a substantial way. We are honored they're part of our business education community. We had the pleasure of hearing from National Geographic's Engage at our opening session. Our executive director would like to introduce our other platinum sponsor.
Thank you, Keith. How many of you have ever had a flat tire at about 11 o'clock at night on a Friday and you needed to call somebody for assistance? Have you ever had that happen? You can probably only name a few people, but NBEA is, as well as many nonprofit organizations, have had a tough time over the last 4 years. COVID was very, very difficult. Educational associations, the market has not been kind. But nonetheless, when we have a flat tire and it's 11 o'clock at night, we know who to call. And our good friends respond. NBEA has a number of challenges. And one of those challenges is serving people who teach in such diverse topics. For example, if you're a biology teacher, what do you teach? Biology. If you're a math teacher, what do you teach? You teach math, right? Well, if you're a business teacher, you teach personal finance, entrepreneurship, marketing, international business. And you can hear you finishing the quite lengthy list. How many of you have more than 5 preps every year? Let's see, mostly, yeah. So how does NBEA serve that diverse of an audience? And one of the things that we thought is this: we need to turn our best resource, give you your best resource, which is, guess what? Each other, right? So NBEA decided to seek out a new community platform that we're working on developing right now. It's a lot like what we would call a highly organized, much better populated, professional community group for all of these subgroups in NBEA. And we want to turn your best resource loose to you, and that is each other. We have an amazing community. Now, to accomplish that project, we needed some assistance, and Certiport was there to assist us. I'm here today to announce publicly that Certiport is helping NBEA to develop our new community platform where you will be able to share resources with thousands of teachers across the country. And they have helped sponsor that initiative to the tune of $20,000 to assist you with resources in the classroom and to get quality resources that are professional at a moment's notice. You're going to be hearing a lot more about that in the future, but today we have the director of STEM and CTA and the chair of their Global Literacy Foundation, Certiport's Nick Haber, and I've asked him to come up and say just a few words about Certiport. Nick?
Joe, thanks, Keith. This is my first conference since January 2020. So it's been, I can't think of a better group of people that I'd rather come out of my house and hang out with. So it's been a great number of days. And I think about it, you know, if I ran the world, if things were up to me, you know, when you go to a professional ball game, before the ball game, they bring teachers out on the field and everybody would thank them for their service. And when you go to the airport, you know, before they bring the business class passengers on, anybody a teacher can board, right? That's, if the world was up to me. It's not up to me. I can't do that. We can't do that. But I had the privilege to come out with Joe and Keith and the leadership team and listen to what NBEA was doing and their strategy. And they described it as they wanted to put NBEA in the center of the business educator ecosystem. And I thought that makes so much sense. And it really is the way businesses are changing their business model. So many businesses are moving from transactional business to being in the center of the ecosystem. When you look at the companies that are successful, like Apple is a great example of that, right? They are in the center of the app economy and they've really taken off with that. So when you know, this team said we want to be in the center of the ecosystem, the business educator ecosystem, said that makes sense. What can we do? And we talked about it, and it made sense for us to sponsor this community forum. And you think about what an ecosystem is, right? It's all, you know, it's a group of animals all together living together. And, you know, we're out on the African savanna together. Each one of you is a lion, right? You are a lion. This is your pride. And you're here to help each other. But I do have to say there's also this other kind of bird that sits on the back of a lion and like eats the bugs off of it, right? That bird is an entrepreneur. And that entrepreneur is making a sustainable living, solving somebody else's problem. So we're all in this ecosystem together, right? And we're trying to help each other out. And we're making this a really great world for us all to live in. And so we're really proud to be able to sponsor this and feel it's going to be a good thing for all of us. I'm really excited. Jennifer told me that there are 80 people that hadn't attended this conference before. So welcome. I'd never been here before. It's amazing. But what I'd say to you is for the new people, you're not alone. And I think you've learned that by being here. You don't have to solve all this stuff yourself. We're all here to help you. We believe in what you're trying to do, and we want to make that happen. So I do want to say some things about Certiport, right? I think I've earned that privilege. So if you're not familiar with Certiport, we deliver the official industry recognized certifications for a number of different companies. So Apple, Adobe, Microsoft, Autodesk, Intuit, Project Management Institute, Unity, and others. So they're the official programs that help your students get something on their resume that's going to cut through that clutter and demonstrate that they are ready for that job. And I know there's all sorts of different assessments, and the credentialing world is insane. We're hoping that by making these official industry recognized credentials, this will help you and your students. There's, you know, so a lot of those programs, you know, I think more than half the states recognize those programs to help you get Perkins funding. There are a number of programs where they've been endorsed by the American Council on Education that let your students get credit hours in colleges that they can move on to. So this is what we're trying to do is give your students a leg up when they go on to college or career and be better suited for that, and help you demonstrate, hey, we as business educators, we know what we're doing. They passed the official industry recognized credential, they're ready. I also want to tell a story, family story. One of my favorite parts of my day, every day, is that brief period of time between when I drag my teenage daughter out of bed in the morning and when she goes off to school. We have breakfast together. My wife's in the shower, it's just the two of us, and we talk about anything. And one of my favorite topics she brought up, she wanted to talk about innovation. And we were talking about, well, what are some of the great innovative things that ever happened? And we said, well, everybody talks about their innovation being as great, the best thing since sliced bread, right? And so sliced bread is clearly one of the world's greatest innovations. But she said, well, what's even better is somebody said, we're going to take that piece of sliced bread, we're going to cook it again. We're going to have toast. Toast is awesome. And that would not have, toast wouldn't have existed if somebody hadn't thought of sliced bread. So at Certiport, we've got these great industry recognized certifications, and we're cooking it again, right? So we have this whole pathway called Learn, Practice, Certify that gives you an opportunity to get some really high quality learning materials that simplify your life so that you can offer those courses, practice tests that help you students get out those test jitters, make sure they're ready for the exam. And you know, a lot of the learning materials we have, and we're a Pearson company, but they're not necessarily Pearson programs. We've sought out what are the best of breed programs out there that help students get certified. And so one of the newest ones that I want to announce, and if anybody was at the panel discussion I had yesterday, we've partnered with the Network for Teaching Entrepreneurship, and we're offering, they are going to allow us to bundle in with ESB, Entrepreneurship and Small Business Certification, their startup course. So that's new news. We're very excited about that. So please check that out. And so we're doing that bundle. So again, I want to thank you for over the past couple of years for putting up with what you've been putting up with, for your resilience. I've been inspired by it, and sometimes it seems like a cliche to say some things, but you know, or to say something, to feel like you have to say something that should be obvious, but you can learn a lot from teachers. So I want to thank you for everything you're doing, and I look forward to remaining part of this great ecosystem. Thank you.
Thank you. Now I would like to introduce this year's chair of the Council for Business, Teaching and Research, Dr. Maggie OConnor, to say a few words about the CBTR award recipients. Maggie.
Hey everyone, is everyone like psyched up? I am so full of emotion right now. This has been a great week. And CBTR, we were so happy to have everyone attend our sessions at Burke on Thursday. And I just want to give a shout out for Joe, Becca, and for Jerry, just because they're 3 people, a small team, and they have worked to meet our needs in so many ways throughout the year. And so let's give them a show. Just in so many loving ways. So what I'd like to do now is introduce our doctoral dissertation award to Dr. Jonathan Walker. The Council of Business Teaching and Research presents an award each year for doctoral dissertations and seminal studies related to business education. Research for this year's award was completed in 2020 and submitted and reviewed in 2021. The 2022 Doctoral Dissertation Award is awarded to Dr. Jonathan Walker, and he's a teacher at Culver Stockton College in Culver, Missouri. Let's give him a show. Oh, sure. Now we'd like to introduce our Best Research Paper Award winners. Dr. Denise Rosland and Dr. Carla Sager are given this award. And the our Business Education Research Conference, which we had all day yesterday, is held each spring in conjunction with the NBEA convention. Burke is sponsored by CBTR and showcases exceptional research and education for and about research. And I'd like to give this Best Research Paper Award winners, Denise Rosland and also Carla Sager, this award. Denise is an assistant professor at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, where she teaches in the Business, Marketing, and Computer Science Education program. Dr. Rosland's current scholarship focuses around 2 avenues of work: core to her teaching philosophy and practice. improving the design and delivery of online courses, as well as topics that build the capacity of business educators to use research-based approaches in teaching. Dr. Carla Sager is an associate professor at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, where she serves as the program coordinator for the MS in Business Education program. On a national level, she's the director, as you've just seen, of the Business Education National Hall of Fame. Her most recent research interest is focused on innovation and design thinking. Dr. Sager has expanded her research agenda to include aligning online program development and course construction with research-based best practices. Each year we have a special award that CBTR gives out for leadership. The Leadership Award has many facets and many qualifications are needed to obtain this award. The National Leadership Award is made annually to recognize a CBTR member for outstanding leadership and service to the organization and the profession. The awardee will exemplify a commitment to promoting scholarship, leadership, and cooperation among professionals in education for business. This year's winner is Dr. Molly Wickham, an associate professor of education and business at Bethel University in St. Paul, Minnesota. She's the director of a graduate teacher preparation program and 3 undergraduate business degrees, where she teaches a business capstone course that contains a client-focused service learning project. She advises master's thesis students, is the EdTPA coordinator for her graduate education students, teaches a field experience course, supervises business teacher candidates, and is an ACBSP champion. Now, Molly has conveyed to some of her friends that she told her husband that when she would graduate and receive her doctoral degree, she was going to do 3 things. So we understood that maybe she didn't get to those 3 things, and we decided to give her a chance to get those 3 things. So the first was go to Italy. The second was get a red Camaro. And the third was to get a dog, which she has. She got a dog. So to date, Molly has received only the dog, and she hasn't been able to go to Italy or get her red Camaro. But NBEA wanted to fix that. So Molly, we would like to present you with a red sports car and an NBEA scale trip to Italy.
I still say of the 3, she already had the best one, and that's having the dog as a fellow dog owner. I would now like to introduce the NBEA Awards Committee Chair, Dennis Crecci, to present additional NBEA awards.
Thank you. I want to thank our awards committee for their work this year. So if you're in the audience, would you please stand if you're on that committee? Our first award is the NBEA Best Member Written Forum Article Award, which recognizes the best practitioner authored article published during the preceding calendar year. The goal of the award is to recognize and thank contributing authors and to encourage new writing contributions by NBEA members for future Business Education Forum issues. All articles written during the preceding calendar year are qualified, and judging is performed by the Publications Committee Task Force. This year, Building Emotion Intelligence, EQ, in high school business students, published in the spring 2021 issue of the Business Education Forum, met that criteria. I am pleased to announce that this year, the best member written forum article is awarded to Dr. Molly Wickham, an associate professor of education and business at Bethel University in St. Paul, Minnesota, whom you just met, and Amy Rodriguez, the business services coordinator at the University of North Carolina, Wilmington. Our next award is the Middle School Secondary Business Teacher of the Year Award. The three key areas that are considered are contributions to business education through teaching, publishing, and participation. This year's recipient has been a business education instructor for 38 years. She is currently teaching at Lakeview High School in Columbus, Nebraska. She has served as an FBLA advisor for 33 years and was on the Nebraska State FBLA Board of Directors, serving as chair for 2 years. She has been named the Nebraska FBLA Advisor of the Year and is a member of the National FBLA Wall of Fame. I am pleased to announce that this year's Middle School Secondary Business Teacher of the Year is Jan Wendt. Jan's other honors include Lincoln Airport Lincoln Public Schools Teacher of the Year, a 3-time recipient of the Golden Apple Teacher of the Year Award, the 2020 Nebraska State Business Teacher of the Year, and the Mountain Plains Business Education Teacher of the Year in 2021. Congratulations, Jan. Our next award is the Post-Secondary Teacher of the Year Award. This award is for outstanding contributions to business education by a business instructor at a community, 2-year, or technology institution. The 3 key areas that are considered are contributions to business education through teaching, publishing, and participation, which involve committee work held at the local, state, regional, or the national professional associations. This year's Post-Secondary Business Teacher of the Year recipient has been a secondary business education instructor in Louisiana for 4 years. She has served as an adjunct business instructor at Sewella Technical Community College for 2 years and is currently the president of Louisiana Association of Business Educators. This year, the 2022 Post-Secondary Teacher of the Year has been awarded to Wendy Saunier. Wendy.
Everybody congratulations.
Wendy is currently a full-time post-secondary business education instructor at Sewella Technical Community College, where she serves as a member of the graduation committee, e-learning committee, the PBL advisor, and the chair of the search interview committee for the School of Business. Wendy was awarded the Endowed Professorship Award in 2021 and is currently working toward her MBA in entrepreneurship from the University of Louisiana in Lafayette. Congratulations, Wendy. Our next award is the Collegiate Teacher of the Year Award. This award is given for outstanding contributions to business education, specifically for business teacher education by an instructor at a 4-year college or university. The three key areas that are considered are contributions to business education through teaching, publishing, and participation. This honoree has been praised by her peers as a dedicated professional business educator and outstanding leader. She is an associate professor at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater, where she serves as the program coordinator in the business education program. This year's Senior College University Teacher of the Year has already been introduced this afternoon, and it's Dr. Carla Sager. The Distinguished Service Award for Outstanding Contribution to Business Education by the Administrator of Business Education. The next award is to acknowledge the contributions made to business education through administrative and/or supervisory activities such as participation and offices held in local, state, regional, or national professional organizations, development and/or support of education programs that provide unusual opportunities for business education students to benefit from the interrelationships with the business community, demonstration of efforts to inform citizens of the achievements of business education, and support of state and federal legislation designed to advance the purpose of business education. This participant is this year's NBEA Distinguished Service Award for Outstanding Contribution to Business Education by an Administrator of Business Education, has worked as a secondary business teacher, a college business professor, a department chair, and as an associate director of CTE programs. She currently serves as the Dean of Career Education Division at Flint Hills Community College in Emporia, Kansas. The 2022 Distinguished Service Award for Outstanding Contributions to Business Education by an administrator or supervisor is awarded to Kim Doherty. Kim has been actively involved in business education organizations at all levels, state, regional, and national. She has served as committee chairs, officers, and editor of newsletters, yearbooks, and conference proceedings. Congratulations to all our distinguished award winners. Now we would like to turn our attention to our NBEA leadership and the recognition of key individuals in NBEA's leadership.
Thank you, Dennis, for the hard work of your committee this year. We're now going to turn our attention, as Dennis said, to our NBEA leadership for the coming year. First, we want to recognize other leaders who helped make our year meaningful. If you chaired a committee this year, would you please stand? Leading a committee takes dedication and focus, and we appreciate these individuals who have served as a chair. Now, if you have served on any NBEA committee this year, would you also join the chairpersons in standing? And please, let's give these individuals our thanks. We would also like to recognize our outgoing NBEA officers and directors. These individuals have contributed to making this position far easier than I would have ever thought that it would be. Please step forward as your name is called and remain at the front, please. Outstanding directors: Benita Moore, immediate past president; Barbara Hagler, CBTR; Andrew Stout, NCBEA; and Carol Sessoms from Mountain Plains. We would also like to recognize Maggie OConnor, who is the outgoing chair of CBTR. Now we would also like to recognize our outgoing council members. Please stand where you are to be recognized. Jane Brooker, CBTR. Molly Wickham, CBTR. Alicia Wolev, CIBE, and Gina Mitchell for CIBE. Thank you all for your service. Now NBEA would like to announce new board members who have been recently nominated and elected. Please come forward and give these people a round of applause. Thomas Mays, representing NCBEA, Cheryl Wheeler for Mountain Plains, Pamela Scott Bracey for CBTR, and President-elect Dr. Barbara Hagler. Would the rest of the NBEA Executive Board please join these new members on stage? Don't be shy. Administering the oath of office will be NBEA's current immediate past president, Dr. Benita Moore.
The National Business Education Association has a rich history spanning over a century. Past leaders, some of us, some departed, have made their mark on business education in numerous ways. It is now your time. It is your time to lead, your time to share, your time to sacrifice, your time to celebrate, and your time to learn. Your time to make a difference. This is your time. Good leaders are recognized by their peers. You've earned the respect and admiration today of your peers to stand before the membership of NBEA today and take this oath of office as you start or continue your term on the NBEA Executive Board. Executive Board, would you raise your right hand and repeat these words after me? I promise to upload the governing documents of the National Business Education Association. I promise to practice my fiduciary duties, including the duty of care, the duty of loyalty, and the duty of obedience. If you agree to these comments, please respond by saying, I do. With that response, I hereby pronounce you installed as the Executive Board of NBEA, effective July 1st, 2022. Let's give these individuals a round of applause. I know you'll do a great job. You've got great leaders. You've almost immediate past President Keith Hanna, and then your incoming president, Delane Havlog. I'll get it in a minute. Yeah. I've said it so many times, so we're so glad to have you. And thank you and congratulations.
It says here that I can provide any closing inspirational thoughts, but I'm just going to say this has been a fantastic year. I don't want to try to be too inspirational at this point. I don't want this to turn emotional. I'm a good Norwegian. We don't process emotion very well. So it's been a great year, and thank you to everyone for the support that I've received in this position. And I hope that some of you feel that I was able to do the position justice. So
Keith Hanna, 21-22 president of NBEA.
in closing, it has been an amazing year at NBEA, and we anticipate an even better 2022-2023. We are grateful for the dedication of our award winners and all that they have shown to business education. As we prepare to depart, the year ahead is our chance to recommit ourselves collectively to help empower educators to achieve excellence in business education. Enjoy the rest of your time in Chicago or virtually. If you're traveling home, safe travels. And please also save the date of April 2nd through the 6th in Kansas City for our next convention. We are dismissed.